Don Harders. This will be two parts. I'll record one video with my top six seller questions, and tomorrow I'll give you guys with my top buyer questions. Okay, because after I gave you guys my favorite question the other day, I think it was something like, "What is define a win for me?" Some of you guys asked me to give you my top seller questions and then my top buyer questions. So that's what today is about. I want to make sure that you guys all understand that I think it's one of the most overlooked skills. I think the art of asking questions is something it's a skill that you develop, right? It's not just something you can't just read the questions. You have to understand how to communicate. And I think it's one of the most overlooked skills, to be honest with you, especially in a listing consultation, or a buyer's consultation. Asking the right questions builds trust, right? So I think that's your primary job. In that meeting, it's not to sell yourself, and that's one thing that I think agents do a really bad job with, or they just don't understand. They think they're there to sell themselves. It's not, you're not there to sell yourself. You're there to establish trust. And I think trust is built, I think, through listening, right? The more I listen to you, the more I'm going to learn about you. It's not about talking, it's about listening. I think the 80/20 principle, and we always talk about the 80/20 principle, I think it matters most here than anywhere else in our business, right? 80% of the time, what you do is listening. You should be listening to the person and asking them questions, and that's the 20% of the time. Right? You're talking 20% of the time, and you're listening 80% of the time. I think too often agents want to dominate the conversation. Why? You sound like a salesperson when you do that, right? You should never try to dominate the conversation. When you ask thoughtful questions and really listen, you really sound like a professional. I think, and you guys have heard me say this over and over again, right? Be interested rather than try to be interesting, right? The right questions, I think, do more than just build rapport. I think what we're trying to do is when we get together with sellers and buyers, I think we're trying to uncover motivation, right? I want to know what the hesitations are, what their timing looks like, what are their priorities, right? Things. I think most of the time clients just don't volunteer this information unless you give them space to do so. So these are my top six questions, and I used to ask these questions all the time during my own listing consultations, and believe it or not, the question of commission never came up because it was just a conversation between two human beings or three human beings, right? So my first question is the obvious, right? Can you tell me about your reasons for selling? Find out their motivation. My second question is, how long have you owned this property, and what improvements have you made during ownership? My third is, what do you love most about this property? Okay, tell me a little bit about things that I can't see, right? I can see the kitchen, I can see the crown moldings, I can see the wood floors, but tell me about the things that I can see. What is it that you love about this property? I love the way it feels when I'm walking through the doors and there's a family room right in front of me and I get to sit down after a long day and watch TV. Tell me what I can't see. Are there any specific challenges or issues you've encountered with a property, right? You're trying to find a little bit more information about some of the things that need to be fixed. How quickly are you looking to sell the property? Okay, that's a very important question for obvious reasons. And my favorite question, I'm saving the best for last, and this is one that has they just go on and on and on and on. Take me back, maybe that's not even a question, but take me back to when you first purchased the property and share with me why you decided to purchase it, right? Take me back to October 7, 2004, when you and your wife walked in the property. Was it instant? Did you know exactly, did you know that you wanted to purchase the property right away? These questions I think are in trust, but you can't be robotic, right? You practice these. look at the mirror and just in the car, with your dog, with your wife, with your kids, whatever it is practice, practice, practice. Because I think it needs to be natural. You need to be really good at asking good questions in order for you to earn trust. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a relationship, trying to find out the real story behind what it is, why we're there. And I think if you're really trying to kind of give them your experience and your expertise, uh, I think it happens after you understand the client. You have to understand the client, not before. I don't think it's about marketing. I don't think it's about your experience. I don't think it's about the number of properties you've sold, the community, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's about the person that you're speaking to and really earning that trust. So I think that your expertise is established after you understand who the client is, who the person is that you're talking to, not before. I think the agents who win who win listings are the ones who really listen. They're not talkers. They're really, really good listeners. I think they're curious. And I think if you lead with curiosity, I think everything else follows. John Harders, have a wonderful day. Cheers.